Now, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but it is newsworthy in a sense, so I want to take a look at it with you. I told you previously about Donald Trump's niece, Mary Trump, who wrote a book with a ton of outrageous, but not altogether surprising claims about Trump. He has a learning disability. He paid someone to take his SATs. He was abused by his dad. He was taught never to apologize because his dad never apologized. And they were all believable, but also not ground shaking claims in the sense that they don't really change our picture of who Donald Trump is. Well, Mary Trump's book is out and it sold just a crazy number of copies. On day one, it was close to 1 million copies sold. And Mary Trump was interviewed by Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. And Mary Trump says she personally heard Donald Trump use the N-word referring to black people and also anti-Semitic slurs. Let's take a look.
I have to press you on it a little bit. If just to ask if the president, if your uncle was an exception to that in your family, or if you ever heard him express either use anti-Semitic slurs or the N-word or other racist slurs or other sentiments like that, or do you mean this was an ambient thing in your family, but you can't say that you ever heard it from him, or did you hear it from him too?
Oh yeah, of course I did. And I don't think that should surprise anybody, given how virulently racist he is today.
Have you heard the president use the N-word?
Yeah.
And anti-Semitic slurs specifically?
Yes.
So this is one of those that it's so obvious and yet so irrelevant and yet so seemingly confusing in some minor ways, which I'm going to explain. So one of the reactions from the right, and I looked at some conservative blogs and subreddits this morning to see their reaction to this. A lot of people on the right have said Trump's not anti-Semitic. He's super pro-Israel, and his daughter converted to Judaism because she married Jared Kushner, who's Jewish, etc. It's a terrible argument because, first of all, Trump is pro-Israel from a reactionary Netanyahu sort of standpoint, which is not even the predominant view among Jews there, nor here in the United States. So Trump really has done nothing about Jews being increasingly the victims of hate crimes during his presidency. He moved the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, right? So understand that Trump has been pro-Likud, but Trump has not been pro-Jewish, and that's an important distinction to make. Number two is this is just not surprising, right? From everything we know about Trump, oh my God, it's shocking. Trump uses the N-word in private. Trump uses anti-Semitic. Of course he does. Of course he does. That's not at all surprising. But then the most important takeaway for me is, as sick as this is, it's so irrelevant in the sense that Trump is so orders of magnitude unqualified to do this job. Trump has so bungled everything that he deserves to be removed in November, period. And this barely changes anything about it. Like, okay, I get it insofar as Trump using the N-word personally hasn't gotten very much attention. Trump using anti-Semitic slurs personally, it's not getting that much attention. I get it. When Mary Trump said this on the Rachel Maddow show, it got 24 hours of attention and then it faded. There's two reasons for that. The coronavirus pandemic continues to rage and grow. It's not surprising that Trump is accused of saying this, but most importantly, it's not materially relevant to voting Trump out. It changes nothing. If you still support Trump at this point, you're probably not bailing because he's accused of using the N-word about black people and using anti-Semitic slurs about Jews. You're just sticking with him if you're still with him at this point. If you're already not supporting Donald Trump, you're still not going to support him after hearing him accused of using the N-word and anti-Semitic slurs. In other words, it is additional data that provides almost no additional information about who we should vote for because it's what we believed he was doing all along. That's my 2 cents on it. Let me know if you disagree or have something to add. We probably won't spend much additional time on it.